But yeah, we'll take a look at BE. But if you look at the Qs, 608 and 616 are the main levels to be paying attention to. Okay, let's run the likes up, and then we'll get started. We'll look at some plays that you guys want to look at. I just got live. You guys have not missed anything. I literally just turned on the live. We're gonna be looking at a few things. We're gonna be seeing if we can find any good setups. My boy want to look at silver. We'll look at PAAS. Let's look at BE first, right? Because I don't want to waste any. I don't want to waste any time tonight. It shouldn't be live for too long. Shouldn't be live for too long. We're gonna be looking at a few stocks, right? Because the market has not done anything, and I don't think it's really gonna do too much until we get that Nvidia earnings. Until we get Nvidia earnings, until this Iran war, until um, there's actually like a protest like March 7th or something. Like there's a lot of news that is coming out in the next week or 2 weeks. So we're just gonna see if we can finally get setups and go from there. This is a I would label this a day trading type of market. Like you definitely want to be in some day trades because the market is very volatile up and down for the past 2 weeks, right? But anyways, if you look at BE Energy, this is a stock that needs to trade above where it's currently at right now. Okay, so the risk to reward on BE, first of all, you're not getting that great of risk to reward just because you really should have been buying back here $20 ago, and this thing is up 8% for the day. It is now sitting in a rejection area, but the thing is, I absolutely love energy. I think energy is going to continue to climb. If you guys are in the Discord at all, we've been talking about NEE. NEE has been going absolutely crazy. Okay, so I think BE is the same sort of deal. Okay, it's the same sort of deal, and it's sitting like there's nothing to be bearish about it. It's just that you're not getting that great of an entry right here. You're buying at a victim level. Like this is where victims get created. Okay, so we're just gonna come over here. This is a victim level, meaning if you're buying right here, you're buying into someone's 1,000% contract. Okay, you're buying from someone's contract that was buying Monday and Tuesday, and now you're buying really late. Okay, now how do you combat if you want to get into calls on here? If you want to get into calls on here after it's up 8%, do your thing, but you are buying a victim level. But how do you combat that is, wait for it to possibly trade above, right? Because once it starts trading above it, 158, and getting a daily close even above there, it's automatically going back to all-time highs, okay? So this is a big level for BE. I think it's going to get to all-time highs just based on energy being super strong this year. It's in a nice structure, but it needs to get back above this victim level because if not, you're just buying like not at a good point right here, right? Like this thing could come down. I'd wait for it to come down. If I wanted to get in, I wouldn't buy after it has already pumped. Does that make sense? So huge rejection level. But anyways, you guys run up like let's get to 2.5K likes before we look at some more stocks, man. Put in the comments what stocks you guys want to look at. We'll look at them. And I'm still bullish on crypto. Remember how bullish you are on crypto? I'm still bullish on crypto. And the thing is, I'm never wrong. I'm just early, man. I'm just early. We're gonna be early to crypto. I hope you're still in here after 2 to 3 months. And we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. You know. The funny thing is, these people, man. These people never come in here. These people never come in here after I'm right. Always come in here, on the when it's dipping a little bit, they get their little, hissy, stuff like that, and then the move plays out, and then we never see them again. We never see them again. So please, Aaron, show up, man. I still love Ride Tomorrow. Still love it. I still love it. Come on, man. I still love it. I still love it. I still love Ride Tomorrow, man. Equity, you're able. Let's see what Ride is doing, man. Put in the comments what stocks you guys want to look at. We'll look at them. Let's run the likes up to 2.5K. Riot looks incredible. Riot looks incredible. Now, if you're buying these, if you're buying, if you're being cheap and you're buying some weak contracts and you're not building that portfolio, you're not getting equity, then yeah, you're probably gonna miss out on a whole lot of the move, which happens. Okay, you want to make sure you're buying equity. Build that portfolio. That's the whole goal of this. Okay, the foundation should be number one, and the foundation is you buying equity for the long haul. Okay, because if you look at Riot, Riot is now breaking out from a 2 to 3 year long consolidation. Riot is breaking out from a 2 to 3 year long consolidation, and it has retested on the monthly this entire time. Extremely strong. No stopping it if it can get above $18, and then we'll see it at 26, 27. Okay. I'm actually. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyways, let's look at BA. Let's look at BA, man. Aaron, man, it looked like you losing, bro. You good, man? I'm gonna pray for you, man. We need to get a prayer for Aaron, man. I think he getting beat up. I think he getting, I think I think he might be going through something right now. It's not like, honestly, I feel for bro. Honestly, I feel for bro. You know, honestly, I really do. Like, I don't even want to joke. I don't even want to joke about it, man. I don't even want to joke about it because now he's just saying stuff. Called AMD to 450. Like, come on, man. Send me the clip. I need the clip of that one. I don't even remember saying that. I don't even remember. We're gonna pray for him, man. Jesus, please cover him in blessings. You know, whatever he may going through, may we feel it on our hearts as well, and may you break our hearts for what breaks yours. If he's truly going through something, may you fix his situation and make him better. Our Lord in heaven, our Savior. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Can you look at PLTR? Let's look at BA first. If you look at BA, first of all, I think BA is extremely bullish, okay? BA is extremely bullish, but what's happening right now is it's coming into rejection level, like you see right here. Victim levels, kind of like what we saw with BE. Okay? So if and I absolutely love BA. I think BA is going to perform very, very good this entire year. It just needs to trade above this level that we're seeing right now. So this is a victim level. This is a victim level, okay? And as you can see, for the past, literally all of February, it's literally just came in there and rejected the entire time, okay? So once this can trade back above 245, it is then going back to the high that it had in January, which is 254, okay? But it needs to trade above 245. And the thing is, like, BA, this is why I'm saying BA is going to have an absolutely incredible year. Now, of course, these few rejection points is what it needs to get above to have that incredible year, but I do believe it's going to happen. I believe a euphoric market is coming. Okay, I believe an extremely bullish market is coming, while a lot of people actually believe the market is bearish. Okay, I put out a poll on Twitter. Let's look at Twitter really quick. I put out a poll. I said, yo, has the market bottomed? Put in the comments what you guys look at. I said, bro, did the market bottom? 134 votes. I said no, 60%. Did the market bottom? No. And this was like yesterday before we had the huge pump today. So, you know, I will say though, WAM is on it though. I will say WAM is usually on it. We're usually ahead of the crowd. So, you know, I'm going to give us the benefit of the doubt that WAM actually does know what we're talking about. Okay, maybe the market hasn't bottomed. But anyways, BA looks incredible. And the last time Trump was in office, okay, like Trump came into office in like what, 2017, January 2017. You had this extreme run up this entire time he was in office, okay? He said all the no's about the DR liquidity. Maybe, like that's what I'm saying. You know, maybe the market did bottom. You know, this is the, like if we're talking about tops and bottoms and you know the market going down during this time, this is the time I've actually seen more people being, you know, more bearish than I've ever seen right now. Like if we do end up going down, a lot of people would have predicted that we are going down right now. You know? Now, of course, we need above some certain levels before we do make that all-time high move. But you know, maybe people are missing the bottom right here. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But what I do want to emphasize is that I do believe the market is going to go up. You know, maybe not in the next couple of weeks, but in the next couple months, yes, I do think we see high prices. But the last time Trump was in office, this is what happened. I think the same sort of move is going to end up playing out. BA has been incredibly strong. The only thing now to pay attention to is it needs to trade above that victim level. Okay, so that's the main thing. So if I'm looking at BA, if I'm looking at BA and I want to be, super bullish, it needs to get out of this chop that it is in. And I would like to see it, maybe go back down to 235, kind of like what it did right here. Although, we'll be paying attention, but that's kind of what I want to see. Or, I wouldn't be buying calls right here. Like, I wouldn't like it was at 245 there. I wouldn't have bought calls right there. Like, this is victim level. So once it could get above victim level, maybe if it gets a retest, then it could start pushing to 255 and even 300. Okay, I think BA is very, very, very bullish. Okay, very bullish. This isn't even a trend that you would want to short. Like for March 2025, you look at this. Okay, uptrend, uptrend. Okay, now what would be a price that I would love BA to get to is 206. Now, will it get to 206? I highly doubt it, but we'll see. We'll see. But I'm bullish above 245. Inside of here, I wouldn't really, need it above 245. Yeah, because it's obeying its fibs like so perfectly. Like if you just look at what I did right here, like it's obeying the fibs so perfectly. Like right here, it bounced at 230, and you could have wrote it for $17. We actually did get calls right there in the Discord and printed a whole lot of money. But if you look at BA, like maybe even like 220, like like I wouldn't be buying, calls right here though. I'd be looking for it to go maybe a bit lower, and if it doesn't bounce from this 235 level, then you get 230, and then I think it can even slide to 220, if it can't get back above that 245 level. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for BA. Have you seen any option volumes coming in for BA? No. Put in the comments what stocks you guys want to look at, man. ONDS and Iron. Can you do IWM? 18,000 call options for Carvana today. 300 puts. Yeah, they're about to print, man. Carvana is garbage. 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 I put out a TikTok video saying like, yeah, man, that's garbage. That's garbage. I think like 2-3 days ago. And now, had the earnings. Oh my goodness, hold on. It's coming back. It's coming back. They're not gonna let them make money, man. They're not gonna let them make, because this thing went to 273. Anyway, it's going way lower than this anyways. But yeah, I think it gets to 231. IWM. Let's look at IWM. Let's look at IWM. Same thing with IWM. Okay. And we know money's rotating in the small caps. Okay, let's run the likes up to 6K. Click the screen, man. Click the screen, because what is happening in these lives is stuff that is playing out in real time. Okay, if you go to the previous lives on the YouTube, like you could clearly see, like, oh yeah, like these levels hitting, they're hitting. PLTR, we'll look at PLTR. But for IWM, it needs above 266. Okay, this is what you would call a victim level. Okay, and it needs a weekly close above there. Okay, it needs a weekly close above the victim level. It can't close. It can't close above there. It hasn't for the past 3 weeks, and then you got this large move down to the downside, and now it tried again today, and it couldn't. It rejected again today. So it needs some strength to push above 266. But also, I wouldn't be like, it's hard to be bearish on IWM until it can break below 260, until it can break below 255, and then you can get a waterfall all the way down to 244. But until then, this isn't like this is the strongest index there is. This is the strongest one. So if you even want to think about being bearish, it needs below 260, and then 255, and then that's when the real waterfall can start to 244. That's the larger move. But until then, it is just inside of no man's land, inside of here, right? This is no man's land in victim level, all right? Making higher lows, right? So that's something to pay attention to, but it's in no man's land. Like for me, this is no man's land, and unless you buy these dips at 259, or But I will say, I believe IWM can get to 300 plus. Okay, we know this is like, look at this. Okay, IWM is breaking out of a in a bull market, in a rate cut world, in a very bullish Fed chair that's coming in. we're in a 5 year breakout period. Okay, so you have it breaking out from a five, and this is something that we've been talking about since last year in November. Okay, but it's playing out. Tesla. Let's look at PLTR, and then we'll look at now. I definitely want to look at now. I definitely want to look at Enphase. I definitely want to look at Home Depot. PLTR. I'm not really seeing much. Okay, I'm not really seeing much. And to be honest, I bet you this rejected off of like, yeah, like it couldn't even close back above 138. If you want to be bullish on this, wait for it. Make sure it gets a close above 138. Okay, then it can start pushing to 145. And, finally probably making some noise. But until then, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. But, but, man, and this is like, oh man, it's so funny because if you look at what Amazon is way down here, like Amazon, and this is why it's clear as day money's rotating. Amazon's down $40, but the Q's like Microsoft is down so much. Meta is almost $150 from all time highs. Nvidia not even at all time, like is way below, and this could go to a lot higher. And earnings is in 7 days. A lot of good stuff is happening in the market right now. Okay, a lot of great stuff. A lot of great stuff. For Home Depot, earnings is in 6 days, so I don't want to pay too much attention to it. Okay, but we could sit over here and draw the fibs, and you see what's happening. You see what has happened. It can't break above 390. It keeps trying to get there, but it can't. It keeps trying to get there, but it can't. But as soon as it can get above 390, then you're gonna get a really good move, and I think that move is gonna take place for earnings. Okay, but I will say the daily is very bullish. You're getting some hidden daily divergence right here, right? I think Home Depot is very bullish. By the way, I think these Dow Jones type of stocks are gonna continue to march to the upside, but it has earnings in 6 days, so. That it has earnings. It has earnings. I don't want to take too much time. It has earnings. It has earnings. Now, packaged software has been getting a beat down. Okay, and what is it? What's his name? The Nvidia CEO. He literally said, uh, like like during this, the software is going down and everything. He literally said AI is going to enhance the softwares that are already out there. They're not going to completely disappear. And I think I trust the Nvidia CEO more than a lot of other people, right? So I think these down draws that we're seeing on these packaged software type of companies, they are gonna come back. They are gonna innovate. They aren't gonna completely disappear. That wouldn't even make sense currently. So I will say these are at great like like okay, either we topped out. Either we've topped out, or some of these stocks are about to go absolutely insane. Some of these stocks are going to bounce very, very hard. Um, the RSI is below. Like the last time we got something as extreme as this. Look at this. The last time we got something as extreme as this RSI that's about to close in February, which I do believe, this RSI will close like this in February. I don't think it'll completely get bought up in February. I think it's going to take, a little bit more time, maybe in like April, right? I think that's when some of the real moves are going to start happening. But if you look at the last time this took place, like from here to here, like it's absolutely insane. Okay, so if we're talking about first of all, if we're talking about building foundations and building portfolios and not just trading like not if you don't have a foundation, which is equity and a portfolio, and then you get into options like on the side, like second, then you're not doing this right. So if you look at now and you look at IGV, which is the index for packaged software, etc., like to me these just look like great dip buys. VU, like these just look like great dip buys. Well, VU's kind of gone because money's rotating, but these just look like great dip buys, right? So if we're looking at now, which is literally putting in a hidden bullish divergence on a monthly time frame, the biggest that it's seen since 2016 to 2022, where it bottomed out 68 and then went all the way to 236. I mean, I don't know too much about what now does. Let me just be honest here. I don't know too much what they do. But if we're talking about strictly risk to reward for the coming months, this is just great risk to reward. To where even if you're wrong, you're not going to be wrong that big, but the maximum, the maximum move to the upside is extreme. Okay, so I like it. I like it. Now I'm not saying go out and buy some next week calls. I'm more so looking towards the future. Maybe July, maybe September. I think there's just great advice, but time will tell. We're gonna be looking back on this stuff, and this is why I absolutely love the market because we're gonna be able to see some of this stuff play out. If you tune in long enough, you're gonna be able to see some of this stuff play out. I think they look good. And the reason they're falling is because people believe that AI is transitioning from not these packaged softwares, but specialized like tools that are super specific, right? That are super specific to where, like, let's say I run an HVAC company, I wouldn't use whatever they use because let's say now or Salesforce, they take HVAC, they take whoever, basketball, football, whatever. It's like they take a bunch of plumbers, like they take everything. But what people believe is going to end up happening is that it's just going to be a tool for specific things. Like instead of using Salesforce, which does everything, I'm going to use HVAC specialist, and they have a specific tool. You understand? I hope that makes sense. MDC Nvidia said there's a memory shortage. Sup, Wonky? Please look at Netflix. But yeah, I like now for the long term. In terms of the short term, the daily looks okay, but and it is making these higher lows, which I do like, but it needs to get above a lot of certain levels. But I do like it. This is great risk to reward, but I like the monthly a lot more. Uh, what is Tesla even doing, man? I, oh, I said I'm not bullish on this until it can start trading back above 428. Okay, 428. That's when you can start talking about it. Um, you know, and the thing is, there's no reason to be extremely bullish on something like Tesla until it can get above there, anyways, because that's when it's going to make a higher. And it actually is kind of trying to do something right now if 410 can hold. And this probably is just a great risk to reward level, right? To where if you were to get calls, I'd get them right now, and then I just stop out on a daily close below 410 because that means it's going to end up going lower. That's what I would do. But also, this isn't bullish until it can get above 430. That'll basically mean it's putting in a higher high. Right now, what you're seeing is these lower highs that are constantly being formed on something like Tesla. And what usually happens is it ends up slip and sliding after all those lower highs have been made, and that could potentially be happening for Tesla. Okay, you're getting 3 weekly closes below 430, so that's what I'm saying. Above 430 is what you really needed above. It could be doing something here, like if we're looking at smaller time frames, like on this daily, like it could be trying, it could be right. It came into the fib buying area like perfectly 406, right? So you could be like, okay, if it does not bounce here, I'm getting calls right now because it could form this higher low right here. But if it closed below 4.6, okay, I'm just getting out. So this is why this is just a great risk to reward trade if you're looking for calls. If you don't want to wait for it to start trading back above 430 before you turn bullish. I hope that makes sense. So I think it's decent. And we look, man, we know the market is not done. We know the market's not done. We know the market's not going to the upside. But we know the market's not done going to the upside. But in the meantime, we gotta make sure we're not getting ahead of ourselves, right? Because the upside could take place, you know, April 1st. And what's happening in the meantime? Maybe a little bit of downside, maybe a little bit of chop. So there's extreme deals coming. Extreme deals coming. Or maybe we're at the deals right now. But the thing is, the market is gonna go back to all-time highs. At least I hope so. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later, man. This is a great live. We looked at some amazing things. We looked at some really good things. Like I said, Nvidia earnings is next week. That's going to play a huge part. Um, it's gonna play a huge part, right? You have the protests on March 7th or March 7th. If you don't know about that, then look it up. Um, so yeah, we'll be live again on Sunday. We'll be looking at some things, man. Let's see this price action develop. Okay, let's see some of this price action developed. One more flush coming. That's what a lot of people seem to think, man, and that's why I'm so conflicted right now. Like a lot of people believe there's one more flush coming. A lot of people believe there's one more flush is coming, and will it or will it not? Um, sure does look like it, but price action could change in a jiffy, and you already have a lot of people entering into puts. A lot of people are entering into puts. A lot of people think the market is topped. A decent amount of people, anyways. A decent amount of people think we're gonna get that one more, push to the downside, right? And the chart is showing that. The chart is kind of showing it. If we can't get it back above 608, etc. So yeah, very interesting times. Be careful here. Um, are we gambling Nvidia earnings? Nah, I don't gamble. I don't get. I don't. Nah, I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. But I think the market is gonna see what's happening for that stuff, and if all of this stuff is hype or it is not hype. Okay. And to be honest, like if we're looking at the Nvidia chart, this is bullish. This is a bullish chart. This is a bullish chart. And if we come over here and go look at SOXL, which is the semiconductor bull 3X, like this thing could potentially break out of a 5-year long consolidation, right? So there's gonna be a catalyst. There's gonna be a catalyst. I'm not sure what the catalyst is that will push all of these things up higher, but I believe it's gonna come. SoFi ready. So he says, Circle, since you're still here, bro. Bitcoin needs to go for Circle to go. I think with the crypto bill that is coming, I think Circle will do very well. But all that stuff is gonna end up taking some time. Okay, I don't think it's just gonna bounce up super quick. But I think maybe some December calls for Circle could be good. I think looking that far out will be good. But SoFi, I think it could go maybe a little bit lower, maybe 17ish. But SoFi's bullish. Just like we were buying equity here, some of you guys remember back at like $11, $9 back here. We literally said this was so bullish going to 30 plus. It went to 30 plus. Now we're getting that pullback. Okay, the market is going to market. It goes up, it goes down, and now we're getting another excellent equity buy type of position. And I'd be a fool to look away. Okay, I'd be a fool to look away because this is going to 44 plus, and oh my gosh, it's gonna be so easy to tell like who actually believed and who didn't in the coming months, man. It's gonna be so easy to tell. Because it was so easy to tell back when those April tariffs were happening. People who bought the dip during the April tariffs, man, they were happy, jolly, in the Discord hanging out. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, man. I'm out. Peace.